We had a chance to stop by our local showroom in Atlanta to spend some time with the new Peloton Bike Plus. In this video, we'll go through some of the brand new features Peloton has been talking about, including both the new Apple Watch GymKit integration and the new AutoFollow Resistance system. We'll also look at some of the physical changes made to the bike, including the new larger swiveling screen, how you adjust the positioning on the bike, the resistance system, and more. One of the most promoted changes is the fact that the monitor on the new Peloton Bike Plus is able to swivel. You are now able to rotate the monitor to face any direction you wish for a full 360 degrees of coverage. One thing to note is that you can't rotate it 360 degrees in one smooth motion. However, it can rotate 180 degrees to the left and 180 degrees to the right, which still ends up covering every angle. The other important thing to note with the swivel is that in order to rotate it away from the normal front-facing position, you have to slightly tilt it down before you start rotating it. Otherwise, the edge of the tablet will hit the handlebars. Speaking of tilt, it can tilt both up and down. We don't have the exact degrees of tilt, unfortunately. However, we are able to angle it more in the upward direction than down. When angling it upwards, the angle of the tablet matched the angle of the upper part of the handlebars when it was at maximum tilt. The physical screen itself was also upgraded with the new Bike Plus. It now measures 23.8 inches compared to the original 21.5. However, the resolution has remained the same at 1080p. The system internals have also been upgraded to have a better processor and more RAM. While riding the new Bike Plus, we didn't particularly notice the bigger size. However, we imagine it'll come in handy when using the monitor for boot camps or floor workouts and you are further away from the bike. Another big feature everyone has been discussing is the bike's ability to automatically change your resistance to match what the instructor is calling out. Peloton is calling this the AutoFollow Digital Resistance System. Like the old bike, resistance on the new Bike Plus is controlled by magnets moving up and down over the flywheel. However, on the new Bike Plus, moving the knob sends a digital signal to move the magnets. When the bike auto-adjusts for you, it also moves the magnets, but it does so without turning the knob. You are also now able to turn the knob an unlimited amount to the left or the right, although at some point the resistance stops changing. Starting yesterday, the Peloton user interface was modified for all bike users on both the old and new Bike Plus. The resistance range for target metrics are now displayed in a slider interface. For the new Bike Plus, you'll also see a lock icon to the left of this slider. This is the one-touch toggle for turning on and off AutoFollow Resistance. The system is fairly straightforward once you've seen it. You are able to manually override what is called out by simply spinning the resistance knob to make it easier or harder. However, note that the AutoFollow system will only adjust you to somewhere within the called out range. That means if you are riding 10 or 20 points over what is called out, when the system changes, it will jump you to the top of the new range, but without your extra points. If you find yourself regularly adjusting your resistance to be higher or lower than the range of what is called out, we expect you won't use this system too much due to this quirk. One hidden feature is that the lock icon for AutoFollow actually shows you how much time is left in the interval. There is a line that goes around the circle that shows how long is left until the next interval. When the line fills up, the system will change the resistance for you. You are able to turn off auto resistance at any point by just hitting the lock icon again. One other feature that many Apple users will be glad to see is the new GymKit Express integration. It allows you to pair your Apple Watch with a Peloton Bike Plus with one touch. In practice, it usually took us more than one touch to get the pairing to work, but that might have just been due to the newness of it. You do need to make sure that the Detect Gym Equipment option is enabled in the settings of your phone for this to work. Once we did get it paired though, it operated just like we would expect any heart rate monitor to. The heart rate showing on the watch always matched what it showed on the screen, no other steps required. Once you've paired the watch and hit start on the bike, a workout will start on your watch as well. In addition to seeing your heart rate, the workout is also fed information from the bike like a lapse time and your total mileage. Since the ride is being tracked through the workout app in your watch, completed workouts should immediately show up in the Apple Health app, helping ensure your rings are closed immediately. With the big software changes out of the way, let's now look at a few of the various hardware tweaks Peloton has made to the new Bike Plus. Like the old bike, the new Bike Plus has a video camera on the front to allow you to chat with friends during rides. However, the new Bike Plus includes a physical toggle to completely cover up the camera if you wish. One item missing on the new Bike Plus is a physical Ethernet port to plug in your bike to the internet, which the original bike had. Peloton says this will still be possible using a USB to Ethernet adapter, which is not supplied. All bikes are still able to connect to the internet via Wi-Fi. Speaking of USB, the bike now has a USB-C port built into the back instead of the micro USB port that was on the original bike. Another change is that the new Bike Plus now includes rider-facing speakers. The old bike speakers were on the back of the tablet and always sounded muffled and washed out to us. We weren't able to fully blast the speakers, but in our limited tests, the sound did seem improved. The system for controlling positioning on the Bike Plus also got an overhaul. The original bike had 3 levers for controlling the position of the handlebar height, and seat depth. The new Bike Plus replaces the levers on the handlebar height and seat height with quick spin knobs. The third lever on the old bike, which had adjusted the seat fore aft position, has been replaced by a quick adjust lock. You simply pull down on the lock, slide the seat, and push the lock back up. This new system for adjusting the seat position was definitely a vast improvement for us and will make sharing a bike much easier. Unfortunately, the new Bike Plus does not add any sort of system for adjusting the fore-aft position of the handlebars. Like the original bike, you are stuck with a one position here. The power brick that gets plugged into the wall has also been redesigned. Additionally, the physical connector of the power cord into the back of the bike has also been modified, now having a slimmer profile to help prevent accidental unplugs. Speaking of cables and cords, Peloton has improved cable management. The old bike had cables that ran along the handlebar post through the center of the handlebars to the back of the screen. That wiring has now moved inside the bike, so the cords come out of the back of the tablet right where they need to plug in, making for a cleaner looking bike. The water bottle cages looked slightly modified in the new Bike Plus, but nothing too drastic. The weight racks also looked fairly similar to the old ones. Oh, and in terms of actually riding the bike, the actual experience of riding felt about the same to us once we were actually on the bike riding when we weren't trying out the new AutoFollow Resistance. That said, we reserve the right to change our mind on that once we get more time in the saddle with the new Bike Plus. Do these changes warrant an upgrade for existing users, or the price increase for new users deciding between the bike and the Bike Plus? It's hard to say, only you can decide how valuable some of these new features are. If you still have a question about what's new with the new Bike Plus or what's changed, let us know in the comments and we'll do our best to answer any questions.